Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, September 19th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As a reminder, this meeting operates under a code of conduct which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. Here at the beginning of the meeting, we like to offer an opportunity for anyone on the call to introduce yourselves. Totally optional. I like to use it as an opportunity to explain what the meeting is about, so I will go first. Hello, everyone. I'm Caslin Fields. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a co lead of this subproject, which is the Contributor Communication subproject within the Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience in Open Source Kubernetes, which basically means our charter is about making sure that contributors in the open source Kubernetes community know about things that are going on that they should know about, which we achieve through a variety of means, and also to some extent to make sure that folks outside of the contributor community know about awesome things that contributors are doing. So we do that through social media, um, sending emails and things sometimes, running all sorts of little things. We'll talk about a bunch of stuff that we'll give updates on today. That's the point of this meeting, is that we will go over the status of what communications we've been sending, what communications need to be sent, what things are happening in the community, all of that good stuff. And yeah, anyone else want to introduce themselves? Totally optional.
I can do that. Hello, everyone. My name is Heather. My pronouns are he and him. So basically, I work as a cloud platform engineer, and I wanted to start my journey on contributing to open source Kubernetes, and I'm basically looking at different things, the issues that are currently open, so how and where can I be of value? So that's something. So I saw the link of this meeting and I joined it here for the first time. So I just want to start the journey. So that's why.
Welcome. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah. Anyone else want to give an introduction today? Totally optional.
So, hi, I can go next. So, my name is Abdulazeeb. I'm a platform engineer at a company where I develop Kubernetes operators. I've been developing them for the last 5 years. Recently, I got into the interest of contributing in open source. So yeah, I just wanted to see what this meeting was about. Maybe it would help me bootstrap my way into the open source community as well, by contributing to either open source projects or Kubernetes.
Wonderful. Welcome. Always good to have new folks. We've got a number on today, it seems like. Anyone else want to introduce yourselves? Totally optional. All right, then. If nobody else wants to introduce themselves today, then we'll move right along. A couple other reminders before we dive into the agenda. One is that this is a very casual call. If we're talking about something and you have no idea what we're talking about, please feel free to ask as many questions as you like. And if you missed the chance to give introductions and you want to do that later, welcome to pop in. Just very casual. We just kind of chat through all of the things that we're working on. And the final housekeeping item is note taking. So we like to ask for a volunteer to take notes during the call. The role of the note taker is to follow along with what's happening in the discussion on the call and take notes as best you can so that if somebody missed the meeting, they can catch up in the notes document. Anyone want to volunteer to be our note taker today? This is something that's super easy for new folks to do. You don't have to know about what we're talking about. It's a good opportunity to ask questions. So we encourage anyone to be our note taker. Anyone want to volunteer? Indeed, notes by committee it shall be. So when you hear something that you think should be in the notes, please make sure to write it down. All right. Let's dive into our agenda then. Our first item on the agenda is generally messages of the week. So there is a newsletter that part of this team runs called Last Week in Kubernetes Development. So on a weekly basis, they need to know what's going on in the Kubernetes community so they can make sure that's in LWKD. And also, we have our social media platforms that we should be posting things on. So we should go over what's happening in the community and see if we need to post any messages there. And we've got one thing in there. Thank you, Susan, for adding it. Let's talk about the SIG multi-cluster survey. Do you have that sheet handy, Susan, that we could link in the notes?
Memento.
Nice. I was going to go try and find it, but I'll give some context while you find that link. So the special interest group for multi-cluster, a couple of folks from there hopped into our call a month or so, a while ago, and said that
It
they
was
wanted to
sometime
run
in
a
August, I think it was like,
August, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Short timeline on that. Like a month ago then. A little bit over maybe. And they wanted to run a survey with users because they want to build a new tool for managing multiple Kubernetes clusters. And they wanted feedback on ideas that they have for the design based on what users actually experience running multiple clusters. So they asked us to help spread the word about the survey. So we've been posting about it on social media channels. We put together a social media kind of plan. And we said that that would end apparently on Monday. So we want to go over that plan. Susan, were you not able to find the sheet? I can probably
It's in
find it.
the chat.
Oh, chat. Gotcha. I'll toss it in the notes then.
That would be helpful.
So I'll toss it in the notes and then I'll bring that up and we can look over the plan, what we've done so far. I suspect we may have missed a few things and see what we can get on the schedule.
We did pretty well. The
Nice.
only one that needs to be written for the 22nd is the LinkedIn one, and I was hoping in my little heart that Swathi or Avni would have time because they do really, really good LinkedIn posts, like the long ones, whereas I do
Mhm.
not. So if someone is able to take that one, fabulous. Everything else, it looks like it's ready to go, and I'm happy to schedule those in Buffer if we need to.
I'll take up the LinkedIn post. I'm actually not on my at my laptop right now. So once I
whenever
just
you have
log
time.
in, yeah, I'll just reach out to you.
You're the
And
best.
once I'm done, so
Perfect.
you can schedule it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Susan, for seeing to this sheet and making sure that it gets done. This has been a really awesome project where we've actually done quite a lot of stuff and helped them get a lot of responses on their survey. I wonder what they're at now. You remember what they were at the last time we asked them?
It was around 1:30 the last time I asked them, which I think was two weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Nice. I wouldn't expect it's gone up too much since then. Maybe we've sent more messages. The value of scheduling is that we were able to do a whole bunch of them.
Yep.
Awesome. So thank you all for contributing to this. Anything else folks want to talk about the SIG multi-cluster surveys?
Should I just reach out to SIG multi-cluster and ask them again about their current progress?
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. Let's reach out and ask them, how many have you got now? Are you happy with it? We're planning to stop promoting it on Monday, do our final round of promotion for it on Monday. Is that good? Do you need us to extend things to get more responses? I'd expect they'll say they're happy, but let's check in.
Yeah, they were already happy when I messaged them about 2 weeks ago, so I don't expect. So I think we've already surpassed what they expected.
Perfect.
That's a good thing.
And Haider, right?
Yes.
What you got?
So I just wanted to say if you when we are just get done with the SIG multi-class topic, I just want to discuss a small topic. It like occurred to me. So yeah, just wanted
Sure.
to.
What you want to add?
So it's basically about so while working in my company with immutable secrets and how it is handled in Kubernetes. So I had something, a suggestion how to improve related to our case. So I was like, I just wanted to ask, like, if I have a problem and I have a proposed solution, so how would I go about like telling the community? Because I already tried to reach out, but I did not like get any answer. So I thought maybe like this. Yeah.
I'll get into that a little bit when we do new contributor orientation discussion, because I think with so many new folks on the call, I think I'll give a little brief overview of the new contributor orientation content, which covers a little bit of that. So I'll put a pin in that just for a second and put it on the notes doc. Thank you for asking. I think we were done with SIG multi-cluster. Abdul, question?
Yes.
Comment?
It's a small question. Like, I really like the concept of SIG multi-cluster. Is there any place where I can read more about it? Like, what is it gonna manage in the multi-cluster environment?
Of course. So if you go to github.com/kubernetes/community, this is also part of new contributor orientation. You can go to SIG multi-cluster right here and learn all about that SIG, what its charter is, when it meets, all of that information.
Yeah, and you just to add, you can also reach out to the members on Slack.
Slack is our primary form of communication. Well, yes, primary form of like interactive communication within the community. So make sure that you've joined the Kubernetes Slack at slack.k8s.io or k8s.slack.io. I think it's slack.k8s.io. And also make sure that you join the dev mailing list. A lot of folks miss that. I'm just going to find it here. Dev. So if you want to get involved in the Kubernetes community, this is our primary communication channel for all news for contributors. And then, like I said, the primary channel for like interactive communication is Slack.
Awesome. Thanks.
Any other questions on the SIG multi-cluster survey or anything else folks can think of that's happening this week that we need to make sure goes into social media and last week in Kubernetes development? Anyone keeping up with the election news? We have a steering committee election going on right now in the community. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I saw the ping from Arjbal in the announcements on Slack. And then I went to the Kate's Comms messages of the week, and it looks like Swathi and Avni are incredible as usual. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that looks like it's ready to be scheduled, maybe. So if we pick dates and times, I can add that to my buffer frenzy.
We need to get you access to approve buffer.
Oh, no, not yet.
Oh.
I'm not quite up on the
Soon.
knowing whether things are. I don't know enough about the community yet to feel comfortable saying yes, no.
Understandable and a great sign
I will
you know that
continue
you
to
don't
learn.
want that. That is a good thing too. But awesome to hear that. So drafts are already in buffer. Did I understand that right for some election
Nope, they are in the spreadsheet. I think they just need some
Are they
notes
the
in the.
posts related to? Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Not at all.
Are they the posts related to
These
the election timeline and I believe one of the KubeCons?
Yep, both of them. There's Maintainer Summit ones, there's
Oh yeah,
CFPs
sorry,
for
Maintainer
KubeCon
Summit.
EU. You guys have done so much.
These ones were all already scheduled in the
Yeah,
following
yeah,
week.
they're
Were.
already scheduled, so don't have to
Ah,
worry about those.
sweet. Never mind.
Yeah, those were from a few weeks ago, so we might want to do new ones. I know. Ooh, oh no.
Well, I'm still excited about how great you all are, even though these already went out.
Still awesome. Agreed. Kubernetes 1.35 release. So the 1.35 release cycle is spinning up. I know the timeline has been released and they were asking for final input on that. And so we need to see if the shadow application is out yet. I think Federico was going to check into that for us, but I never heard anything personally. I don't know if he posted something on Slack that I missed.
The shadow applications were out a few weeks back. I remember receiving them via email.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
And it's already
Yeah.
closed.
Yes, and the deadline is over.
Yep. All right. Never mind then. Maintainer summit schedule. I think we did end up posting something about that. So those were some old things that we had discussed creating some messages about that nobody ever actually signed up to write. So I'm not sure that we actually got any comms out on our social channels about the release shadow application, but they get more applications than they can handle anyway. So at least there's that. So shadow application is over. Release. We might want to post about the release timeline. The timeline is, I know when I talked with engineers internally about it, I work at Google. And I know when I talked with engineers internally about the 1.35 release timeline, they were like, oh, code freeze is like right at KubeCon. That's going to go great. So the timeline may be a little troublesome for some folks. So it might be a good idea to let them know about it. Insert one row above. I'm going to change the color of this because it's from a different week. And release timeline.
Also,
If
there is
somebody,
a new working group gateway, I guess. They mess AI gateway. I can write a post about that for socials.
that'd be great. So many new working groups this year. There's a lot more content I would love to do about the working groups, but maybe we'll dive into that later if we have time. So we talked about election, we've talked about release, we've talked about the SIG multi-cluster survey. Anything else particularly happening this week that folks can think about that might need to be in here? I think that probably covers it. Let's go on ahead and talk about new contributor orientation. So this is technically part of the mentoring subproject of SIG ContribEx, but they don't have weekly meetings and we do, and most of our folks created the thing. So new contributor orientation for September happened last week, and we got 3 attendees in Europe and 4 attendees in the Americas, because once again, we kind of failed to do any big promotion of it. So we've talked a few times about how we can better promote it. We have automated social media messages that go out regularly. The meeting is held at the same time each month. So automated messages should theoretically work, but they are clearly not working. So we really need more focus on advertising new contributor orientation. So one thing the folks working on new contributor orientation were talking about was we'd be interested in having a lead from the comms group here for each month. So we'd like to ask someone to volunteer to work with the new contributor orientation hosts for that month. Really, you don't really need to do anything about the hosts, but basically just write some social media messages promoting the new contributor orientation for that upcoming month. And we also want to create good first issues at least in the community repo, maybe also in the Kubernetes repo, to let folks know that if you're looking for a good first issue, you should probably go to new contributor orientation. We hold it on a monthly basis, all of that kind of stuff. So I can help walk whoever through it who wants to do that. Is anyone interested in being a comms owner for new contributor orientation for
Yes,
October, or anyone have any questions?
I'd be
I would love
interested.
to volunteer.
Oh,
Nice. Having two is better than one.
Like after 1 or 2 months, when I am more known to this process, I can also volunteer.
Perfect. So Avni and Swathi, ping me on Slack right now. Because as I say all the time in this meeting, I won't remember anything that happened after the meeting. So ping me now and I will work on getting you tied into all of the things new contributor orientation. Let me grab the GitHub repo for it real quick. That'll be a useful tool for you.
Can you also
I
share,
tried.
sorry, can you also share where exactly, like, is this thing posted, or like
We
about the
posted on our
orientation?
social media accounts on X, Blue Sky. We also have it on the k8s.dev website, which is the Kubernetes contributor community website.
if you want to
Um,
view the slide deck, I just posted it on SIG ContribEx on Slack just a few minutes back. Someone had asked for it. It's the one which Caslin had shared with me. I think it's from July.
Yeah, I need to move all of those into a better location.
Where
We tried a different.
exactly have you posted it?
It's on SIG ContribEx. I am on my phone. I can't.
If you go to Slack and go to
Yeah.
the SIG ContribEx Slack channel.
Oh yeah, I've just joined the channel.
Just
Uh,
let me know if you can see it. Yeah, I think it shows that you joined.
okay, I've got it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Indeed. Yep, I've just brought that up as well, and I'll put over here. Oop. There we go. Yeah, so since we've got a bunch of new folks on today, I thought I might do a little review of the content of that. And I also tossed the link to the GitHub page with all the info about it in the doc. So monthly new contributor orientation, when it happens, the agenda, if you have any questions, where to reach out. And there's handbooks for the host and the lead. The host handbook should have some brief description of some of the comms that we originally intended for them to handle, which hosts are not actually able to handle based on our experience of actually leading this thing so far. So we'll see what we can do about that. It's in the lead, I guess. Meeting materials, comms. There's a whole section here on new contributor orientation meeting comms. That is not actually happening every month. So that is a great place to start for us to figure out what we want to do. We might want to put together a sheet, kind of like the other sheets that we've done for the SIG multi-cluster survey, to put together a promotion plan for that month. All right. And so coming back to the question from earlier, how can folks propose new solutions to problems they see when they are using Kubernetes? So if you check out new contributor orientation sometime, this meeting goes over all of the details about how the community works and how you can get involved. It's a very, very large community. Here are, assuming that my screen sharing is working properly, some stats with over 96,000 contributors, over 4.62 million contributions. This is the second largest open source project in the world. And its structure looks something like this. So you are currently within a subproject, the comms subproject. at the bottom of this diagram. So some projects are part of special interest groups, and the varying components of Kubernetes itself are split into ownership by these special interest groups, because Kubernetes itself is far too large, being the second largest open source project in the world, for any single unified group to handle the entire thing. So we split up the various components of Kubernetes into their own special interest groups. And then there's a steering committee of 7 members who are elected by the contributor community, who kind of make top level decisions about various things and handle various aspects of governance and bureaucracy. And the whole Kubernetes project is also part of the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. So like with our social media posts that we do in this group, we do that via a tool called Buffer, and the Cloud Native Computing Foundation pays for that tool, which the request for that funding comes from our special interest group and goes to the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. So you can see that there's some structure to how our open source community functions. And in terms of the special interest groups, there are 24 special interest groups. Last I checked, there were 8 working groups. That's probably far from accurate right now. And 3 committees, the steering committee, code of conduct committee, and I don't remember what the other committee is right at this second. But there are varying types of special interest groups. This is the list of all of them. The last time I updated it was November of last year, so it's not fully up to date. But if you were looking for immutable secret stuff, you might want to check either SIG security or SIG auth. Those two take very different approaches to various aspects of security within the project. And you mentioned that you had a way that you would like for it to work, that it's not working as right now, so you'd like to propose a new feature. I'm going to warn you that that is going to be fun. So various SIGs within the Kubernetes project set up their own meetings. Most groups do not meet weekly like we do. A bunch of them meet every other week. Just depends on the SIG. It's up to them how often they meet. And in those meetings, they'll discuss currently active ongoing work, just like we're doing in this meeting today. And it's mostly folks who are, deeply involved with that area. They've done triage and prioritization of issues, and they work on the best ones they can. So that's one way to get your issue on their radar, is to actually attend the meeting. If you just put it into GitHub as like an issue or a pull request, then they may eventually get to triaging it. But I will warn you that based on, these numbers, 8,000 reviewers to 4.6 million contributions, they're a little overwhelmed. So when you submit something as a PR or as an issue, sometimes it takes a long time for a reviewer to get to it. And by that point, you might not be paying attention to it. And then the reviewer is just wasting their time reviewing something that no one is actually going to work on. And that's how we've gotten such a giant backlog.
Yeah.
So that's some tips. There's also some tips about good first issues in here, which you all might be interested in. I call good first issues a trap, because the vast majority of them don't actually get completed. And just like what I was saying with creating PRs that get abandoned and then they review them and the time is wasted, same thing happens with good first issues. Someone will pick it up and think they're going to complete it, and they don't complete it, and then they have to go back and re-triage it, and creates a cycle of extra busy work that no one wants.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So good luck. I recommend attending a meeting.
Yeah. I'll be attending this one for the coming week, so I'll be asking you question whenever I get stuck somewhere. What should I do here? Where should
Welcome. Glad to help. So that's a little brief overview of new contributor orientation. And thank you, Avni and Swati, for volunteering to do some comms on that for October. Any questions about new contributor orientation or comms there?
Not at the moment. I'll just go through the presentation that Swati shared, and if I have any question, I'll get back to you maybe on Slack or next week in the same meeting.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Oh.
Any other new items? Has anyone seen any requests in Slack or on GitHub or anywhere for help from our team? If I have, I definitely cannot bring them to mind at the moment. I doubt anyone else would have. I know that, let me check Slack real quick. It's harder and harder to check Slack on my work computer. But I know Frederico, who is another usual member of our group, said that he couldn't make it today, and he added some highlights. So we'll add that into updates. We already talked about SIG multi-cluster survey, so I'll just go ahead and add these in here. So he mentioned that the steering spotlight was merged, but after the publication date and draft flag. So new PR to update that. So steering spotlight should be out then if it was merged. So let's check kubernetes.io. Another thing that our group typically does is write blog posts. Oh, I mistyped that. However, we have an issue right now where we don't have enough blog reviewers for either of the two blogs that we post to. So we've had to kind of pull back on the number of blogs that we're creating because there aren't enough reviewers to review the blogs that we create. And they end up getting stuck in this loop of like getting their publication date and having to be updated when they miss that publication date because someone has to manually unhold it. And it's kind of a mess. 1.34. I don't see steering blog here. It could also be on kates.dev/blog. Or it could be that. Oh yeah, K8s. Yeah, it could also be that. Yeah, we haven't posted anything on there since July, which is not unexpected. So he said that it was merged, but after the publication date. So I take it that that means that it didn't actually get published because of the publication date issue. Which is largely caused by our lack of reviewers. Moving on to the next update from Frederico, SIG auth. So someone is working on a SIG Avni. That one's yours. Did you want to give any updates on the SIG auth attempt at a blog?
Yes, we did ping God's team about the draft, and they said they will get to their team shortly, but we haven't received any answers.
Typical. You'll have to keep pinging them. That's just how it works.
Also, I wanted to bring up that that woman spotlight blog series we talked about.
Yes, we can put that into new items. So Avni had mentioned interest in spinning up a blog series interviewing specifically women in the community about their experience contributing to Kubernetes. In terms of getting like content series done, it's very much like, what content series do you want to do, and do you have capacity to run it? So it's a cool idea if you want to work on it. I think that what we need is to try to drive more reviewers. So if folks in here are interested in being blog reviewers, Avni has an idea for a blogging project that could help you get more experience reviewing those blogs. Susan, you had looked into blog reviewing from SIG Docs. Are there any updates on that side of things?
Not specifically. I need to figure out a more structured way to go about this, just because I am much less familiar. I can proofread I can review from a pure proofreading standpoint versus any sort of technical content, and my knowledge of the project as a whole is still growing. So I have a hard time identifying things that I can effectively proofread, like when is a good time for me to do a review. When RPIT had the the draft of the interview he did that was in, I think, HackMD, and I reviewed that before it even went to a PR. That was fantastic because he let me know that it was ready, and I, knew for sure that
That
he
was what we wanted then.
Exactly, yes.
Mhm.
So, if anyone has anything they would like me to proofread at any stage, either, the draft or in a PR, always feel free to ping me. That just helps me know a little better.
Will do.
But yeah, on
Thank
the
you,
doc side, I
Susan.
do have a harder time. I'm sorry, what?
I will do. I will ping you. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Cool. So we can try that out. The thing with projects is keeping them running over a long period of time. So give it a shot, see how you like doing it, and if you want to keep doing it, we'll support you in doing so. The whole issue with how do I know when I can give non-technical review on a blog sounds like an interesting issue to bring up with SIG docs. So
Yeah, I think that is my next step.
yeah. If I could, I would pop into one of their SIG meetings and ask a question. I
Yep.
won't be able to, but that's what I would recommend that you do.
No, yeah, I have been going to the meetings, so just need to actually speak up.
Okay, cool. Pop into a SIG docs meeting and ask how to tell when non-technical review is needed. That would be great to learn and would love to share that with the rest of this group to try to encourage more folks to become blog reviewers.
Very good point.
Let us know how it goes.
I shall.
All right. Anything else folks want to talk about? We've kind of gone over everything, I think. Is there anything we've talked about that folks want to discuss more or any other topics folks want to bring up?
Maybe one small thing.
Sure. What you got?
In the slides, you mentioned that, like, if you look at the project and you find first good issues, it's usually a trap. I've also seen some posts on LinkedIn about like contributors also saying that most of the time the first good issue is not the best issue for you to start. So if I go see a project and I see an issue labeled as first good issue, how can I tell that is it actually good for me to start it before eventually spending some time and then giving up halfway?
I recommend meetings. Because basically the things that keep people from finishing a good first issue. One, they picked up the good first issue because it's in a programming language that they want to learn, not one that they know. And so they try to start coding it and they get kind of stuck and maybe they'll work on it later and then it's next week and then it's the month after that and then they still haven't gotten it done. So that's number one, probably. Number two is they get something drafted, they have a solution, they put it up as a PR maybe, or if they don't know GitHub very well, you can get stuck in the process of like, how do I actually get this up into GitHub? Some folks fall off there, but also folks fall off when they've got a PR in and the folks within the SIG who are working on lots of other projects, maybe in related areas, maybe actually see it, hopefully, and give them a review. Do they know how to then update the PR with that feedback, if there's feedback, or if they realize that that touches some other component of the project, then they need to go off and talk to that other SIG about how that's going to relate to their area. And that takes a couple of months. And then the person who wrote the original PR is gone, and now it doesn't get done. So, good first issues, there are rules within the community about what type of work should be labeled good first issue. It should be something that someone should be able to just pick up and work on, but there's all sorts of things in reality that get in the way of that. So it's less about one, maybe don't pick up good first issues that are in a language that you want to learn and don't actually know. But two, you're just going to have a much easier time with the process if you get involved with the people who are going to be reviewing your good first issue by attending the meetings and being like, hey, I'm working on this good first issue in the meeting. And then those reviewers know that you're actually working on that and they'll review it faster. And you can actually get the thing moving much easier than if you do it completely asynchronously. So that's my tip for not getting stuck in the good first issue trap. It's possible to get through it. There's just a lot of things that can go wrong.
Thank you. So you said that one potential way to get reviewers attention or like to discuss with them is joining their SIG meeting.
Mhm.
Is there one place where I can find where all of these meetings are, like these SIGs have these meetings, or is it just spread around?
K8s.dev/calendar.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put that in the chat as well. Yeah, that is the list of all of the meetings happening throughout the community that you could possibly attend. You can click on any one of them and it'll bring up a little pop-up that you all probably don't see getting shared, and it'll try to add it to your calendar. So you can add meetings to your calendar that way.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. Any other questions, comments, discussion topics? KubeCon is basically right around the corner, coming up in November. So be aware of that. And if you want to apply to speak at KubeCon EU, that call for papers is open now, closing, I think, in early October before KubeCon North America. It's a very early cycle this time.
I think it's 12th October this time.
Yeah, crazy. Usually the KubeCon EU CFP opens like around KubeCon North America. So this is much earlier than the usual cycle. A lot of folks are thrown off.
This brings me to another question.
Yes, of course. What you got?
So my question is that I've been trying or applying for talks in KubeCon for like 2 years now. I never get my talks approved. I don't know the reason. So are there pointers or like or where can I find pointers in which when I propose a talk that I can use and maybe get a higher chance of getting accepted?
I've posted my blog post on the topic in the chat. So hello, I've been a track chair for KubeCon 3 times and on the program committee 5 times. It's very normal to have a bunch of submissions to KubeCons get rejected for years on end, because only about 10% of submissions do get accepted. One of my top tips that I give folks is you should actually care about which track you're putting your call for papers into. Back in the day, once upon a time when conferences were much smaller, the idea of a track was that that was a room on site. And so the idea was if you have come to this conference because you care about security, and that's all you care about, you can hang out in that room all day and you will hear cool talks about Kubernetes security. And so the track chairs try to think about which talks they select for their tracks with that framing of they're putting together a schedule. Like if someone watched all of these talks together because they were really interested in insert track name here, would they get the kinds of stories that they're looking for out of that track? So a lot of folks are like, my talk could fit into a bunch of different tracks. That does not help you. Try to actually align it with the track because the track chairs want your talk to be aligned with their track. Beyond that, make sure that you understand the rules of submission, of course. You can only possibly be selected to speak on one talk and one panel. So if you have two talks that you think are both really good, you will not get both of them accepted because that's not allowed. Oh, there's some issue with my images here. I'll try to fix that. Oh, it's probably an X post that someone deleted. I'll try to get rid of that. Other tips for talks. Also make sure that you fill in the benefits to the ecosystem section. So there's the abstract, which is describing this is what this talk is. That's going to be put on the schedule. Anyone who's trying to decide which talks to go to would see that. Benefits to the ecosystem is your chance to tell the judges anything that you want them to know about your talk. And the judges' criteria is basically they're looking for why are you the right person to give this talk? So in your bio and in your benefits to the ecosystem, you should make it clear why this is a topic that you know a lot about and why your perspective on the topic is going to be helpful to the Kubernetes community. Why you think that that topic is of interest to the audience that attends KubeCon or would be attending that specific track. Because that's what the judges are looking for, something that's going to be of interest specifically to the audience. An example of a type of talk that often does not get accepted is people's individual journeys. There are 10,000-ish people at a KubeCon, and each one of them has an individual journey. So why should we pick yours to put on a stage? So we usually don't. So make sure that you make it clear what the technical interest is to the Kubernetes community and why you're the right person to give it. I think that's kind of a high level of my talk tips.
Okay, so if I get the gist of it, it's like have a talk that's specific to a track, making it more relevant to that track. The content, like the description would be as is, like it would be read by the attendees, like what will they get out of the talk, and in the other section, I forgot the name, like benefits to the ecosystem. That's basically a section that only the judges or the reviewers can see, and over there I can explain why this talk is what it is and why I might be the right person. And my sessionized posts, my sessionized profiles description should also be coherent to the talk.
Exactly. And also another tip for Sessionize, if you are submitting a panel or a talk with more than one speaker, make sure that your co-speaker accepts the invitation to the talk. Because if they don't, they won't appear on the review materials for the reviewers. And I've reviewed a lot of single person panels. And we don't end up accepting those because that's actually against the rules.
One other question, like, do the reviewers also see that, okay, this is a good topic, but there are multiple people here, like it would have been fine if it was a single person. They also see that?
Yes. Also, though, the inverse of that is that if you're getting a whole bunch of talks submitted on a specific topic, like Kubernetes 101, we're going to get 10 of those every year, probably. We should probably have one because a bunch of people are submitting it, so there's clearly demand. But we can only pick one. So it's good. It can be good to submit something that no one else is going to submit anything on. But if you're submitting something that everybody else is going to be submitting something on, then you also have the benefit of like, clearly we need to pick one of these. So you've got to make the case that yours is the best one out of all of them. Whereas if it's a topic that no one else is submitting anything on, then it's more important that you clarify this is why the Kubernetes community wants to hear about this. Yeah. KubeCon advice is something that I often give on these meetings. Any other last minute questions before we finish up for the day?
For KubeCon NA, the sheet for the tweets is all set and ready to go. So if anyone is feeling super motivated, it is there for you to write some tweets.
Please, 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 please. Thank you for bringing that up. That's an important one to add for the last minute.
Anytime.
Yeah. So this is a good, actual good first issue for anyone on our calls. We have a social media sheet somewhere. Find it in a second. Where we put together the post that we want to do about KubeCon. The biggest reason that we do this project is so that new folks in our community have a chance to try out writing some social media posts, do something that's valuable to the community and is very visible. I just found the sheet. I think the sheet overwhelms people. We tried to make it clear, but doesn't seem to be, granted how people use it. So here's the sheet. There's a whole bunch of past examples of social media posts that we've made about various KubeCons. Thank you so much, Susan, who has set up the sheet for KubeCon North America. How this works is we have a description here on like, here's a thing that's happening. We want a social media post about it. Here's the platform we want it to go on, which tells you how long the post can be. Just claim it by writing your name here in the writer column and writing a little social media message for us. We'll work on getting it actually added to the social media platform. You don't have to worry about that. All we need is your help getting that post written because we have 72 of them to write. And when you don't get other people to help you write them and you're on site at KubeCon and you haven't scheduled the post for the next day, it's really annoying to have to write 12 or 15 social media posts in your hotel room while you're trying to get to sleep.
Ask
So
me
don't
how
make
I
us do
joined
that.
this group.
Thanks, Susan.
I had a good time.
So please don't make us do that. Please write posts with us. Of course, let me grab the link to the doc for you and put that in the chat. And with 2 minutes left, I think we will call that a day. I'm gonna go ahead and link that here. I'm actually gonna put that in messages of the week. Comms team is ready for help writing social media posts for KubeCon North America social media. To participate, just check out the description column on what the post needs to be about. Add your name as the writer and write the post. We'll take care of getting it posted for you. You just need to write. Maybe I should update the first page of that spreadsheet to just say that. What do you think, Susan? Because no one ever reads these instructions.
Hurt. I read these instructions and I found them super
Thank
helpful
you.
because I did not know what I was doing, even with you in the room to help me. This referring back to this was immensely helpful to me.
Awesome.
So it doesn't hurt to add it for those who want to read it. If they don't read it, okay, that's at least we tried.
Indeed. All right. We are at time now. So thank you everyone for joining today. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Everyone.